I'm going to take class. We only have the 9:15 class on Monday. So if you're coming in for yoga, do it then, or use something that we've got on Evolution Go, because we'll be closed after the 9:15. Let's get started in child's pose. Let's start moving and grooving and see what comes up. I don't have anything specifically planned for today, so we're just going to kind of go with the flow and see what happens. So press your fingertips down into the mat. Let your hips settle down towards your heels, down towards the floor, into a space where you can just put your attention on you and your breathing for the next 60 minutes. There's like a general air of, yeah, I'm just kind of okay today. I'm just kind of okay right now. And that's fine. And now you're on your yoga mat and you can kind of play around with what's there for you and what comes up. So take a deep breath in together. Fill yourself up. Exhale it out. Big deep breath in. Expand your lungs all the way up and clear it all out. One more time like that. Exhale it through your mouth. Clear the space. And start to create the Ujjayi breath, just steady and rhythmic right from the start. The inhale with the pause and the exhale with the pause. A breath that can fill up all of the nooks and crannies and start to wake up things that have been asleep all day. Maybe there are things that have been asleep and haven't had attention all week. Downward facing dog. Move your body around any way you need to in the down dog. Get all the pops and the cracks and the movement and the stretching out of the way in this first down dog. And start to connect to your mat through each one of your fingertips. So fingertips spread nice and wide, and then the edges of your palms, yeah, can settle down into the floor. And walk your feet up to your hands, hang in ragdoll. Same thing with your feet. You can lift and spread your toes and reconnect them. Let the soles of your feet spread out on your mat. Full connection to the ground. Press into your feet. Rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Bring your thumbs to heart center. Pick one specific thing that you're going to focus on, but keep it something simple that can stay in the room on your mat with you. So maybe it's just that you're putting your attention on your breath today. And we'll send out all those intentions with 3 ohms. Deep breath in. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, tricep pull if you've got the weights. High push up and pause. Right knee to right elbow. Left knee to left elbow. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 big breaths together. In. Clear it out. Good. 2 more. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one. Fill up. Empty all the air out. Look forward and move. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. Fold down. Extended mountain. A long stretch from heels to fingertips. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High plank. Knee tap on the right. Knee tap on the left. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air back out. Clearing out the space. Breath in. Breath out. Last one. Empty to the pit of your belly. Purposeful. Step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. Fold down. Extended mountain. Root and rise up. Look up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High push up. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Push the air out. 2 more. Fill up. Empty out. Last one. Empty completely. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Extended mountain, rise up. Lift up through your chest. Forward fold. Halfway lift, tricep pull. High plank. Knee tap on the right. Knee tap on the left. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. It's hard to break those habits. Deep breath in. Clear it out. 2 more. Breath in. Breath out. So you're right down in your body. 1 more. Empty out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. Fold down. Last on A. Rise up to standing. Spread your fingertips apart. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High plank. Fingertips in the mat. Knee tap on the right. Knee tap on the left. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Big breath in together. Clear it all out. Breathe in. Breath out. Press your chest toward your thighs. 1 more breath. Push all the air out. Get empty. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose and breathe. Sit way back in your hips. Just building that heat slow and steady from the beginning of your practice to wake up and warm up everything. 1 more breath together. Twist right on your exhale. Inhale, open your arms. Stay and exhale out. Back to chair. Twist left. Inhale, open. Stay and breathe out. Back to chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High push up. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior 1. Step through. Just 1 big breath to reach all the way up. Chaturanga on your exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side warrior 1. Step through. Press your feet into the mat. Low push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Clear it out. 2 more. In. Breath out. Last one. Fill up. Exhale everything. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. Fold down. 1 breath, 1 pose. Chair pose. Breathe in. Twist right. Inhale to open. Stay and twist. Good. Chair pose. Reach. Twist left. Breathe in and open. Stay and twist. Back to chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High plank. Keep that breath going. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior. Step through. A nice deep lunge in your front leg. Chaturanga. Hands to the mat. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left side. Step through. Plug your front big toe mound straight into the floor. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Big exhale. 2 more. In. Empty out. Last one. Empty completely. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose. Sit deep. Twist right. Open your arms. Stay for the twist. Back up to chair. Twist left. Open on the inhale. Stay for the exhale. Then back to chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High plank. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior 1. Step through. A bigger step on this one. Deep lunge. Low push up. Big breath and up dog. Let it out and down dog. Left side. Step it through. Press, anchor, and stretch yourself up. Low push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Yeah, sigh if that's there. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one. Clear it completely. Move forward. You've got one more sun B. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Twist right. Inhale, open. Exhale on the twist. Back to chair. Twist left. Breathe in and open. Staying, get all the air out. Chair pose. Fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High plank. Knee on the right. Knee on the left. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior. Step through. Take your gaze right up between your fingertips. Yes. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side. Step through. Press both feet firmly into the mat. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Clear it out. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one, Phil. Get all the extra stuff out of the way. Then send your right leg straight up and back. Bend your knee and open your hip. Stay or flip your dog. Go for smooth and fluid rather than a pushing and a forcing today in your practice. So you put your attention on breath attached to your movement and on creating space, fingertips to feet. Then flip back over, side plank. You can have a weight in that top hand or just an open palm up to the ceiling. But stack all of your joints, your wrist, your elbow, to your shoulder, all the way up to that top hand. Take one more breath together here. High to low push-up you go. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Send your left leg up to the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip. Flip your dog. Connect and then open up. Out through the chest, out through your shins, like the body's expanding in all directions. Three-legged or flip dog, expanding in all directions. Flip back over, side plank. When you transition to the variation that works best for you, there's a lot of different things that can work in every single pose, so you pick what fits best in the moment. Flex your ankles. Yes, spread your toes apart. Good. One more breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take one breath in together. Big exhale out. Right side crescent lunge, but start with your back knee touching your mat. So right foot between your hands and then lower your back knee down to the floor. You can start with your hands out on your hips, but I want you to scoot that back knee back a little bit further until you feel a stretch in the front of your hip, the front of your left hip. Good. Hands up to the ceiling. And maybe there's a little more stretch to be had and you kind of lean into it a little bit. If you're looking for more, you can take your leg back a little further. Just find that sweet spot where it's knee all the way up the front side of your body to your fingertips. Keep that stretch. Just press that back leg straight up to the ceiling. Tuck the toes. Press it straight up. Good. Yes. Back thigh up to the ceiling. All of the toes on the back foot straight into the mat. Hands to heart. Twist right. Can you keep that long stretch from your toes of your back foot up the front side of your body? Open your arms. Can you keep that stretch? And if that stretch disappeared, what do you need to adjust in the pose to recreate that long stretching line? One more breath here. Stay for the whole exhale. Empty it out. Warrior two, open up. Get settled in those warrior two legs. Deep lunge in the front leg. Knee tracking right on top of your ankle. Good. Come a little deeper in the front leg. Some of you can even take a longer stance front to back so that your front foot scoots closer to the front edge of the mat. Yes, Vanessa, there you go. Extended side angle. Front elbow to front thigh or fingertips down by your arch. Add more breath. Steady and smooth, right? Take the bind if that's there for you today. Half bind with your top arm behind your back. Bottom arm underneath the front thigh to complete a full bind. Those long lines of stretch to make the space. The top fingertips or the crown of your head all the way to the back edge of your foot. One more inhale here. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Open the front of your chest. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot through, left foot crescent lunge, bring your back knee to the floor. And find the sweet spot, either hands on your hips or hands can go right up right away, whatever feels best. And then start to scoot that back knee back until you feel that stretch across the front of your thigh, up the front of your hip and into your torso. Yes. Find the sweet spot. So for some of you, it'll be further forward. For others, more upright feels like the spot where there's stretch happening. Then tuck your toes on your back foot. Rise up. Lift that back knee off the mat. Yes. Just a different way to come into the crescent lunge, and it fires up your legs and works the muscles that you need to create foundation here. Hands to heart. Twist left. Then tap in. Keep that long stretching line. Open your arms. The long line from the back foot, up your leg, up the hip, into your torso. Nice, Ashley. One more breath here. Stay for the whole exhale. Twist, warrior two. Deep lunge in your warrior two legs. So you know the space when you're in the warrior two legs and you're like, yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out here to catch my breath. And then the space where you're hoping you're not here for a long period of time. Be in the ladder. Be in that space. Extended side angle. Start one piece at a time. Elbow to the thigh, hand on a block, however that part needs to show up. And then you decide if you're adding the bind, a half bind or a full bind. But the whole time you've got breath attached to the movement so you'll know when you're right up against the edge of the thing and doing exactly what you need to do. One more big breath. Chaturanga, hands to the mat. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Sigh it out. Breathe in. Breath out. One more. Exhale completely. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose and stay. Way down into your chair. You've got two choices in your chair pose this afternoon. You can stay in the original chair or do some squats. You'll stick your tailbone way out behind you. Holding it still or doing the squats for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay in the chair. Twist right. Palms can stay together or open up your arms, your choice. So that bottom arm can go on the outside of your knee or in between your knees for more stability. Spread your fingertips apart. Soften your toes on the floor. Yeah, there you go. Come back up to chair. You've got one more breath. Forward fold. First 2 fingers around your big toes. Draw your chest all the way down toward your shin. So your elbows might come out to the side a little or a lot. Tailbone right up to the ceiling. Release your hands. Go for crow pose number 1. Crow number 1, goddess squat, inversion, side crow, whichever little arm balance you want to work on here is on the table. So you pick one and then go for it. Put the attention on your breathing and keeping your breath as part of this pose regardless of the variation you choose. Fingertips in the mat, toes connected to the mat if they're there. Take one more breath. Step or jump back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take one breath in together. Full breath out. Move forward. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose and stay. Let the heat start to build up. Squeeze your leg muscles into your leg bones. Then you have the choice on this side. Hold the chair or squats. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair pose. Get settled in it. Twist left. Palms together or palms apart. Breathe right here. You build up a little bit of heat in the squats, or just holding the chair can build up plenty of heat. Squeeze your leg muscles into the bones. Back up to chair pose. Breath in. Forward fold. Gorilla. Step on your palms, toes all the way up to your wrists. Now make it an intentional stretch with this gorilla. So as you're pressing your feet down into your palms, slide your shoulder blades up towards your hips. Yeah, away from your hands. Like you're trying to pull your hands off from under your feet, but your feet are pressing down and keeping them there. So you've got this pressing down and pulling up happening at the same time. Yeah, Rob, there you go. It changes the stretch in the pose when you're working the different pieces in opposing directions. Crow number 2. If you want to switch the variation you chose on the first one, go for it. Crow number 2, inversion number 2. Set your gaze on one spot, your breath going in and out the entire time you take this pose. All the different variations. I love it. Intentional breathing. Nice, Paige. One more breath. Step or jump back, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Clear it out. 2 more. Fill up. Empty out. Last one. Exhale completely. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Rise all the way up to standing. Eagle pose, right side. Right arm under, right leg over. Get settled in the breath right away. Choose to have the breath flowing in and out of your body. Even as your body moves side to side, there's still the breath the entire time. The 4 corners of your standing foot straight down into the mat. And spread out as far as they can get. Left side eagle, left arm under, left leg over. You've got it. Gaze focused, breath focused. 4 corners of that standing foot. So it's not just that they're stuck into the ground, but they're also spreading apart to make the surface area on your foot wider and longer. Right side eagle, second set. You got it. Wrap your limbs, wrap your legs. Some of you are starting to bump up against that thing that happens in every single practice at a slightly different point. Now I'm up in my head and I'm overthinking the thing. Keep your arms bound. Take airplane with your legs. That's the tipping point for everybody on their mat. Full airplane. Reach your arms back behind you. The point where you get to decide if you're going to get down in your body and focus on your practice or let your head carry you away the rest of the time you're here. Half moon, open up. And stuff's going to happen and things are going to shift and different parts are going to be challenging on your mat that might not be as challenging to the person next to you or across the room. And all of that doesn't matter. You're just doing one pose at a time for one more breath. Both feet to the mat. And then that pose is over. Left side eagle. Left arm under, left leg over. That part where people start shaking their head or like blinking a lot to get themselves back down in the space. I get that. Eyes on one point, just refocus. Arms stay bound, airplane with your legs. There are always going to be times where you practice where things feel harder or things feel easier, full airplane. And that's why it's called a practice. Like you don't come for a week and you're like, cool, handled yoga, got it, figured out, no problem. Half moon, open up. You can spend an entire lifetime just focusing on one specific pose and never completely land it 100% of the way because it's constantly moving and shifting and growing. Big inhale, stretch both feet to the mat. Standing bow or dancer's pose, right side. It's one of the biggest pieces. If you can get in front of that, in front of the expectation, in front of the this is what it's supposed to be or not be, then you can just move and breathe and enjoy that and let it be simple. So wherever you are in the standing bow or dancer's pose, eyes on one spot and then breath, back to the basics. Big inhale, open up, switch sides. Soft crease of that elbow out for standing bow. Switch the leg. Your strap is on for the dancer. Take your pose. And then if it feels like you're on your game right now and you can just fully expand into it, great. And if you need to take a couple breaths to get there, great. Take your time. Little softness in the standing knee. And then plug your front big toe mound down. Switch sides. Now's your chance. You got one more time on both sides for this one. Eyes on one point. Let yourself settle in your standing leg. I know it's kind of goofy, but I like to picture like a chicken. It's getting fluffed up and then sits on its nest. Like that's how dancers poses. That's how standing bows. You get situated on that standing leg. One more breath. Switch sides. This is serious. We're talking about chickens while we're doing yoga. Yes, left side standing bow or dancers. Last one. I've wanted to have hens my entire life, so I'm constantly thinking about them in the back of my brain and how I can get them into my life. This is part of it. We're bringing it in right here. Get fluffed up and settle on your standing leg. Last breath in. Both feet to the floor. Tree pose, right side. I know it's ridiculous. Right side. Hands start at heart center on the right side. Let your eyes land on one spot. Then you decide when you're ready, any arm variation you want. Sometimes it feels nice just to keep your hands at heart center. I find that works for me a lot of the time when I feel like there's too many things on my plate and I want to keep things a little closer. Softness in the standing knee to anchor the standing big toe. Yes, Sarah, there you go. Big breath in, lift up. Switch sides. Left side tree. Hands start at heart center. Any arm variation you want. You can choose the same one or a different one. No wrong answers. See if you can soften the toes. Even if you're not lifting them off the mat, soften them so they're not gripping. Big inhale. Both feet to the mat. Extended mountain. Reach up to the ceiling. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High push up. Knee tap on the right. Knee tap on the left. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side triangle. Step your right foot between your hands. Add in more breath on this triangle. Yeah, you can definitely use the block on the outside of your shin or a water bottle there if you don't have your block. Top hand straight up to the sky. Go for a long line of stretch here from your bottom hand up to your top hand. Like you're going to pull those 2 points further away from one another as far as you can get them to go. So the rest of your body can handle the rest of triangle and you're working your hands further apart from one another. Press your feet into the mat. Rise all the way to stand. Side facing wide leg fold. Turn both feet to face the long edge of your mat and hinge forward. Let's do some ninja lunges on this side. Bend your right knee and sink into your right hip. As low as it feels comfortable, then over to the left and into your left hip. Then you know the drill. You pick the speed you want to go side to side. You can decide if your hands stay on the mat or if they come up and your arms are in the air as you move side to side. Lots of different combinations. You're listening to and feeling for an opening in your hip joints, an opening on your inner thigh muscles. You've got another breath or two to get complete and then come back to center. Rise all the way up to standing. Namaste, front facing forward fold or splits if you're working on that. The Namaste fold, take a bind behind your back, either hand to elbow or reverse Namaste. Hinge forward. Bring a little softness to both of your knees, just a little bit, so the knees aren't locked out, and then anchor your feet down into the floor instead. If you've got a lot of information coming in one leg, can you anchor the back foot down or the front foot down so both legs are getting some stretch and information here? Yeah, you can play around with it, shift them just a little bit. See where that sweet spot is where both legs are participating in the pose. Twisting triangle or twisting splits. Ring yourself out towards the side of the room. That long line of stretch, bottom hand to top hand, whether it's touching the floor or a block, bottom hand to top hand. One more breath together. High to low push up. Doing the work. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side triangle, step through. Block or the water bottle, maybe the bottom hand is down on a shin, and then put your attention on the hands and pulling the hands further apart from one another. It helps to put your attention in the same pose time and again on different parts of the physical body to see how that changes the pose. So if your attention's only on your hands, how does that manifest in the pose? How does that change the points of stretch across your body? Press down and rise all the way up. Side facing wide leg fold, this time with your bind. Interlace your hands behind you or take a towel or strap between your hands. Hinge forward. You got a little bit of softness in the elbows and then softness in the knees so the weight can really come into the front ends of your feet, the ball mounds of your big toes. Trust that your feet can hold you up even if you fold deeper and you're looking completely behind you. Release your hands down, rise all the way up to standing. Namaste front facing fold or splits. Pick your pose, go for it. A stretch and an amount of work that is equal in both of your legs, in both of the poses that are happening in the room and on the screens, both legs, both feet, all of the toes. As you start to manage the work and the weight of what's happening in each and every one of the poses, the work gets easier because more parts of your body are doing the work together as a unit. Twisting triangle or twisting split. It's hard to have all the attention on one foot or one leg or one part of your abs before it starts to burn and there's too much work happening. Let the whole body do the shape of the thing. Big inhale together. High to low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in together. Clear it out. Fill up all the way. Push the air out. Last one. Fill. Empty completely. Roll out to a high plank. You can keep your knees up in the air or touch your knees to the ground. You're going to hold the plank for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Belly in. 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way to the floor. Locust pose with your hands back by your hips or Superman with your arms out in front. You pick your pose. Rise up and away from the mat. Length rather than height. There have been a few poses where you're really stretching out those 2 points away from one another. So here it's crown of the head. Nice, Sarah, to heels. Or if you're in Superman, fingertips to heels. Super long. Then lower down. Rock your hips out left and right. Second set, locust or Superman. Pick the same one or switch to the other one. Rise up. Stretch out. It's easy to dump into the low back in both of these poses, so squeeze your inner thighs together and lift the pit of your belly in and up to make space so there's no stretching or pushing in your low back. Lower down, hips side to side. Floor bow. Floor bow number 1. Bend your knees and grab your ankles. You got it. Rise up and away from the mat. Send your shins straight back behind you. Shin straight back, chest straight forward. Those 2 points pulling apart from one another to create more space for the back bends. Big breath in, lower down. Take it left and right. Last one, last floor bow. Press, lift, go. Away from the mat. Big open space from collarbone to collarbone, from shins to chest, all the way open. Lower down. Take it side to side. Upward facing dog. Rise up off the floor. Downward facing dog. Press back. Make your way through to sit. Come into bridge pose. Bridge pose down on your back. Yes, definitely water bottle towel moment. And then bridge pose. 2 flat feet on the floor. Press down and rise up. Either interlace your hands underneath you or take cactus arms. You pick the one that helps you tuck your shoulders underneath you the best. Sink into your big toe mounds. Anchor them down into the floor. Yeah, there you go. One more breath together here. Lower down. Knees left and right. Second bridge. Press down and rise up. You choose the arm position, then a long straight line from your chin to your knees. Bring your right knee into your chest. Press your right leg up to the sky. You can hold the leg straight up or pulse your hips up to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Left leg up to the sky. Hold it up or pulse the hips up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Knees left and right. All right, yogis, now that you're tired, now is the best time for wheel pose. Tuck your fingertips under your shoulders, hands nice and wide. Rise up and away from the mat. Yeah, you've already done the work. You've done the work to get here, to create the space, to do what you need to do. Then tuck your chin and lower. Breath in together. Full breath out. Number 2, press, lift, go. Up and off of the mat. Heels connected, big toe mounds connected. Tuck your chin and lower. Breath in. Breath out. Number 3, press, lift, and go. You just keep coming back to the task at hand. You're just doing one pose at a time, one thing at a time. Tuck your chin and come down. Breathe in. Breath out. Number 4, you're past the halfway point. Go for it. Number 4, bridge your wheel up and away from the mat. Yes. Tuck your chin and come down. Breathe in. Breath out. Number 5, rise up. Only 2 more. Don't miss it. Bridge your wheel. Choose the pose. Come up. See what there is to see. Come on down. Breath in. Breath out. Last one. Last bridge, last wheel. The big last final back bend for you to get every last bit of space. Come on down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Connect the soles of your feet. Just let your legs drop out. Let them hang down towards the floor. Any sigh or exhale through your mouth or like whatever it is that needs to happen here, let that happen. Then happy baby or dead bug, soles of the feet up to the sky. You can grab your feet or the backs of your thighs, whatever feels like a good fit this afternoon. Let your spine stretch out. Legs straight up in the air. Set yourself up for scissor legs, either hands behind your head or hands underneath your hips. Lower your right leg halfway to the floor. Take a breath in and switch your legs on the exhale. Breath in, exhale, switch. Keep going at your own pace with your own breath. Intentional and on purpose. It helps to flex the ankles. Yeah, wake up the end of your leg so it's not just dead weight that you're trying to lift up and lower. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs straight up, knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Rock forward and back. Make your way up to boat pose with either a block or your weights right at heart center. Block or your weights right at heart center. You can have your heels touching the floor for more stability or have your feet off the ground for more of a challenge. We're just going to row the boat side to side. Go for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Keep breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Whew, got that out of the way. Lizard lunge right side. So step your right foot on the outside of your right hand. And stack your joints. So your ankle right underneath your knee. And if it's behind your knee a little bit, just scoot that foot forward until it's stacked. Then your options are knee up or knee down in the back. Stay up on your hands or come down to your forearms. The block is super helpful if you're working on getting to your forearms because it's the halfway point in between. Just the lizard lunge. Glue the inner leg to the side of your rib cage for the start. Wow, that was a hard cue to get out. Glue the side of your leg to your ribs. There we go. A closed hip action. Or both of the hips are pointing the same direction. We'll get to the open hip part. And now for the open hip part. Let your right knee drop out to the right. You can put your right palm in the middle of your right thigh and help coax your leg open that way. Sometimes it's helpful to have your left hand on a block to lift yourself up a little bit and then put your hand on your thigh so you've got more room. Yeah, give yourself more room. For those of you who have a little more space to work with and your hips are coming closer to the floor, just remember to pull the pit of your belly in and up. So even though the bones are going lower, the muscles are still in and up. Nice, good adjustments. You can stay right here or add the final piece of grabbing your back foot with your right hand. Grab that foot or ankle with your right hand. If this hip opening feels perfect, stay right here. If it feels perfect. If it feels like you're having sensation, let's put it that way. Right side half pigeon. Gently release the foot if you're holding on to it. You can walk your foot across the mat or take down dog and just reset to take right side half pigeon. I like to add on a little bit of hip opening sometimes before the half pigeon because then it makes the pose different. Like you've had extra hip stuff before this hip pose. So maybe the pose is showing up differently for you now. Maybe there's something new to discover physically in your body because you've done extra hip opening before you took this pose. Steady, rhythmic breath, really purposeful. All the way to the end of your practice, you carry that breath. Because it would be a shame if you took the time, took your valuable time out of your day to get on your mat, to move around, to stretch out, to warm up, whatever reason brought you to your mat. You took the time to do that. Stay on the mat the whole time. Do your best to keep your brain on your mat the whole time. Few more breaths here in your half pigeon. What do you need to step in front of? What do you need to clear out of the way to land all the way in this pose? Downward facing dog, shake it out. Lizard lunge on the left. Step your left foot outside your left hand. You start right from the beginning. Make the adjustments and choose knee up or knee down on your palms or on your forearms. Could be different on this side in your lizard. I know for me, I can get my elbows down on one side and the other side, my elbows are hiked up because that hip is tighter. So just customize the pose. Plug your front big toe mound down. Get that knee as straightforward as it'll go. Then go for the open hip piece. Let your knee drop out toward the left. Maybe it's the palm on the thigh to help open it up. Could be the right hand on a block to help lift you up and away from the floor a bit so you've got some leverage to work with. And then that final piece, stay here or grab your back foot with your left hand. Sometimes it takes coming out of the pose a bit to grab the foot or the ankle. That's fine. Left side half pigeon. Walk the foot across your mat or take down dog to reset before you take your pose. Settle into your breath here. You made an active choice to come on your mat and have something happen today. Give yourself some space for that something to happen. A few more breaths. Downward facing dog, shake it out. Let's do seated wide leg fold instead of frog today. So take a seat and then legs as comfortable as they feel out to the side, toes up to the ceiling. Sometimes it's helpful to sit on a block, like right on the edge of a block so that you can tip your tailbone back behind you. Sometimes the block is like making the pose harder for you. So if it doesn't work, don't use the block. Hinge forward. I think that's one of the toughest pieces for me about practicing yoga and teaching yoga in general. Here's some tools. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes saying this is really helpful. Sometimes saying that sucks. Don't say that. Like it's really moment by moment. Every single pose. You could work with a block for 6 months and you're like, this is the best thing ever. And then the next day you're like, I hate this block and I'm never using it again. There has to be space for things to shift and move, for unexpected things to happen, and that to be okay. For you to show up exactly as you are and exactly as you aren't, and that's totally okay. Toes up to the ceiling. Few more breaths here, long and steady. However the shape is showing up, let it do that. You focus on your breath. Slowly make your way back up. Draw your legs back together. It may take hands underneath your knees to pick them up and move them into center. I know it does for me in that pose. Legs straight out in front for seated forward fold. Hinge right at your hips and make your way forward. You can do it with a long flat back, or you can round your spine. A C-shaped spine over your legs. Nice thing about this pose is if you've got a long flat back, it'll work the muscles in your back. And if you have a rounded spine, it works the connective tissue. So both are good. Tabletop or reverse plank. Rise up, plant your palms behind your hips. Tabletops, flat feet on the floor. Planks, long legs with your toes pointing to the mat. Set your gaze right on one spot. You got it. Hips up to the ceiling, best you can. One more breath. Lower down. Fish pose. You can stick that block between your shoulder blades or tuck your hands underneath you. Sometimes all the way past your butt, sometimes to the back of your thighs, even depending on how long your arms are. Let your chest open up. I stay open. See what you see. One more breath in your fish. Full exhale. Make your way off your block or untuck your hands. Upside down time. Any inversion that's calling to you. Waterfall, shoulder stand, any type of headstand or handstand work. Now is the time for that. And give your body the opportunity to reset itself, to let your blood, anything, like all of it drain out, down to the ground. So the next time you're upright, it's refreshed. It's new. The blood works the way a lot of the time, like the oxygen in your lungs, like you'll go breathing normally without thinking about it all day. And then there's still that residual old air in the bottom of your lungs that you started with in the beginning of the day. Blood is like that too in your legs and your feet. Headstands and handstands. You've got a couple more breaths or a hop or two, and then child's pose to reset. Shoulder stands, make your way to plow. If you're in waterfall and want to go to plow, that's there. Plow to deaf yogi. Bend your knees, hug them around the sides of your head. Slowly lower yourself to the mat piece by piece. And hug your knees into your chest. Take a supine twist. Drop your knees to the right. Twist and look to the left. Supine twist, opposite way. Supta Baddha Konasana. One last time to connect the soles of your feet together. Maybe for the last time today. Let them touch on purpose. Bless you. Shavasana. Got your cold eye towel by the upper corner of your mat. Let yourself settle. Let your bones be heavy. Let your body sink down onto the floor. Then take a deep breath in, long and slow. In, in. Exhale everything out. Let your entire body rest easy on your mat. Deepen your breath. Bring some movement back into your hands and your feet. Plant your feet on the floor, rock onto your right side. With your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. We'll finish our practice together with 3 final ohms. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Thumb knuckles to forehead center. Thank you all so much taking time out of your day to get on your mat and get up to something for yourself. Namaste. Good work, everybody. It is humid as heck in here, folks. If anybody has questions about the sales that we've got going on this weekend, about access training that's coming up in the fall, so many things are happening. Let me know, because I will have hopefully all the answers that you need. And if not, I will get you the answers that you need. Have an awesome and safe weekend, and I will see you soon.